He believed that if you didn't talk about a crack in the wood wasn't broken. For 40 years, Elias worked alone in a small village workshop. He could fix shattered furniture so perfectly you'd never know it had ever fallen apart. He believed everything in this world, no matter how damaged, could be sanded down and polished back to perfection. But Elias made a mistake. He treated his son like a piece of timber. Whenever Julian cried as a boy, Elias handed him a tool. "Work cures the heart," he said. "Keep your head down. Keep your mouth shut." Elias thought he was building a strong man. In truth, he was building a wall. The day Julian came home, the air in the workshop felt thin. He sat quietly on a wooden stool, watching his father work. 3 times Julian opened his mouth to speak, and 3 times the loud scream of the electric sander filled the room. Elias saw the tears in his son's eyes, and he looked away. Elias thought, "If I acknowledge the pain, I make it real. If I stay silent, it will pass." He didn't know Julian carried a medical report inside his jacket pocket. He didn't know his son hadn't come home to rest. He had come home to say goodbye. When Elias finally turned off the machine, Julian was gone. On the workbench beside a broken chair lay a folded note. It read, "You're so good at fixing things that don't breathe, Dad. I just wish you knew what to do with the things that do." Elias didn't learn his son was dead from a phone call. He learned it when a lawyer arrived to settle Julian's unfinished business. The lawyer handed him a heavy iron key. "Your son bought the forest behind your workshop," he said. "He spent his last savings to make sure no one would ever cut down the trees you loved." Elias stood among the tall trees, surrounded by silence. He screamed his son's name. The forest did not answer. The trees stood tall. They stayed silent. They did exactly what Elias had taught his son to do. Elias returned to his workshop. He took his finest chisel. He did not build a chair. He did not build a table. One by one, he destroyed his own tools. The silence he protected for 60 years finally broke, with the sound of his own sobbing. Elias sits now in the middle of his workshop, surrounded by the finest wood in the country, with no one left to build for. Silence does not protect the people you love. It only leaves them drowning in a room where they thought you were the lifeguard.